So first, thanks for for coming here and talking to me. The MMA Premium is really happy that you were talking to us. First, I want to ask, why is your nickname Gordinha?
Well, my coach is Brazilian, so when I started at the gym several years ago, I was much heavier than I am now. So that came from.
So how is your Portuguese going then?
It's slow. The Brazilian language is very difficult. And all the Brazilians I know talk very fast, so it's hard for me to catch on, but I'm learning a little bit.
I'm sure you know at least the bad words.
Yes, for sure.
Nice. I want to start as well asking, you started your career as a wrestler in college. When was the time that you thought that you really believed that, you want to be an MMA fighter?
Yeah, so I did. I'm from California and I moved to Oklahoma to wrestle in college. I didn't do the whole program. I just did about a year of it. Just wasn't really for me. School wasn't really for me. So then I transitioned, found a gym, and just started training. And I realized, hey, I just kind of want to fight and try it. And after my first fight, I was hooked, and I just decided this is what I want to do. And I've done all my fights with Giuliano Galuppi, my coach, and I will never fight without him. I've had him in my corner every single fight, and we're just a team.
So you just fought Juliana Tai, and how did you feel for that fight? And how you won, obviously, the unanimous decision. How did you feel in that fight?
I started off a little slow in the first round. But I feel like I really picked it up in the second and the third, and by the end, I felt really good.
Did you think Juliana was disrespectful in any way to you because what she was saying before the fight, how she was gonna, do the fight and how she was gonna win?
I don't really read or watch articles or videos from my opponent before. I just kind of do my own thing. Of course, after the fight, I have gone back and read some stuff, but I don't think it's disrespectful. I think it's just part of the game. You've got to be confident in yourself and whatever you believe you're going to do in that fight. So I think that's just what she was doing. It doesn't bother me at all.
And how was for you, you got this fight, you have 4 weeks to do the camp. How was with this new normal, that we're living, being, with the whole coronavirus happening? Do you think this is going to last for your next fight as well? And did it work? How was it?
Yeah, I do think the rest of the year at least will probably be this way, which is fine. The gym was closed for a while and then it was able to open back up. So part of my camp, I was able to do the classes with, everybody. The rest of the time, I just have a few partners at the gym that I've been using, drilling my live stuff. And honestly, I felt fine. I got everything done that I needed to. So I was confident that I had trained everything necessary. And it wasn't a problem for me at all. Actually, I liked it. I like being able to just do, have a few partners and just work specific things instead of sometimes you have to do all the classes. And I love the classes, but it's hard to fit everything in. There's only so many hours in a day that everyone can, make the schedule work. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed my camp, and I wouldn't mind doing another camp that way.
So do you feel it was a little more personal?
Yeah, I was able to do a lot more specific drilling than normally. Just like I said, just as far as fitting it into a schedule. I normally do specific drills, but I was able to do that. Just kind of the majority of my training was one-on-one, specific, small group, instead of the classes, just because the gym was closed most of the time.
How about for your weight cut? Was it just fine? How do you do it with that?
Yeah, so obviously during the quarantine, I gained some weight at the beginning, but as soon as I knew that Shannon was going to do a show, I started to get back under control. And of course, my coach, Giuliano, is diet, nutrition, as well as strength conditioning and jiu-jitsu. So he kind of made sure I was on track and able to cut the weight in the amount of time we had. And I had a really good cut, actually, last time.
So you fought, the main event, this last fight, the one before you fought for the title for Invicta for the strawweight. Do you feel that this fight that you just won, will you closer to try a title shot again?
I don't know. I don't know what Shannon's plans for the division are. I would hope that I'm a top contender, but I won't ask for it. I really just want to stay active, stay busy, and take whatever fight Shannon gives me, short notice or full camp. I would never say no to a title fight, but I don't feel the need to ask for it. I really just want to stay busy.
But is there anyone that you like to fight now?
The 115 in Invicta is pretty deep. I think there's a lot of people. I don't have anybody specifically, but I do know that there's quite a few people that haven't fought recently. So I'm sure that they could be potential matchups. There's a lot of girls with bigger records, and I'm sure it will be somebody like that. It's close to my record because I've got quite a few fights.
At Bellator at some point in 2018, you had 3 losses, one after the other. How did you feel? Like, how did you keep yourself motivated to go back to the gym and train and know that you'll go back to the top and get better?
Right. That is, it was difficult. I had lost 3, and it wasn't necessarily because of my skill set. It was a mentality that I was battling, and I lost 3, and I said, you know what, I need to figure something out, and I need to work out whatever is going on in my head and get myself ready to compete. And so I found a really amazing sports psychologist who has made an incredible difference in my game, and so finally now my skills that I've had for quite some time, they're able to come out and show in my fights because I'm able to use them now. And so I probably hadn't, if I didn't lose those 3 fights, I wouldn't have found her, and she's made a big difference in my game. So, I'm not thankful that I've lost those 3 fights because that was a very difficult time to come back from. It's hard to lose 3 and then in that next fight, like, be confident because you had lost. So I'm just grateful that I have found Nicole, my sports psychologist. She's been phenomenal, and I feel much better now where I am mentally and physically. And I just feel like each fight, my skills that I've had are going to continue to show.
What was that, mentally you think it was blocking you or stopping you to get better at your game or to show what you could do at the octagon?
Right. Probably just self-pressure, maybe. I'm not exactly sure what pinpoint it is, but I would say self-pressure. I just put way too much on myself. And, some athletes, they thrive on pressure. I'm just not one of them. I like to stay calm, cool, and collected and just be confident in myself. And I just needed to figure out how to do that.
And where do you see yourself in the future?
I've got big goals, obviously, everybody does, but I'm in no rush. I've got a big record, so I think a lot of people think that I'm like an older veteran, which is cool. However, I am 26, so I've got, 10 plus years left. I'm not rushing and I'm not going anywhere. Where I'm going is one fight at a time until I hopefully reach my goal, which is to be competing against the most elite 115 division in the world.
Do you see yourself in any other organization than Invicta?
For now, no. I'm very happy with Shannon and Invicta. If anything, I would love to go to the UFC, but like I said, no rush. Invicta for me is not just like a one fight and then into the UFC. I don't want to just rush that time. Invicta's a great organization, Shannon's amazing, and they've got a great division. So I'd love to fight a few more girls there and, hopefully one day get called up into the UFC because that is where the most elite girls are.
So what did you think about the Rose Namajunas and Jessica?
I'm a big fan of Rose. I've been watching her since her Invicta days. She's just incredible, honestly. I'm a big technique fighter. I really love watching technical fights, and Rose is just an incredible technique athlete, and so watching her is it's just amazing.
Yeah, it was the fight of the night, so
Right. And of course, you know, it wasn't just technique, you know, that was a straight up brawl too. So it had everything. That was an amazing fight.
And I think, as you know, you said, Rose also had that same path as you. At some point in her life, she kind of had to mentally figure it out what she wanted, you know, which is like also said what you just told us about, you know, getting a psychologic coach to, you know, work on your mental game as well. So she also went through something like you, which is pretty normal that, you know, fighters go through. Do you feel that she inspires you?
Yeah. I watch a lot of the girls fights, and I do have a lot of fighters that I would say are my favorites. Rose is one of my favorites, but it is inspiring because, like I said, you know, it's cool to watch somebody that's undefeated and, you know, doing so well. That's a whole other thing. But to watch somebody fall down and have to pick themselves up, it's just more incredible to me, because it's a hard path, you know. Some people have harder paths than others, and Rose, for sure, you know, sometimes you need to stop, pick yourself back up, get your mental under control, and get back in there. And I like watching that because I feel like that is really inspiring to a lot of people that maybe want to fight but haven't, they're too scared, or nerves, or you've lost 3 in a row and you don't know what to do. I just feel like, you know, characters like Rose is just inspiring to see that you don't have to be undefeated to do well or to be successful. You can have a crazy record. You could lose 3, come back and win 10, you know. Things like that inspire me because it's real. It's real life, you know. People, you're going to lose. You're going to have to figure out how to get back up and get back on track. And losing a couple times doesn't mean you can't reach your goals.
Exactly. What are the other fighters that you admire?
Joanna obviously is just incredible, technique and everything. Claudia Gadelia, I'm a fan of. My coach knows her and I really like her. And you know, I could do a whole list, but I really do love to watch those 3 fighters. And there's a lot of new fighters coming up that are really incredible to watch, but those 3 are probably my top.
Have you ever thought about going like to a camp with them, or just go visit their gym to train, to get some experience with them, especially because one day you can fight them, but you know, by now you are in a completely different organization. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I have actually trained with Claudia, which was cool. It's a cool experience. And I've been to American Top Team in Coconut Creek. I haven't trained with Joanna or anything, but I have seen that environment and all the girls there. And that was an experience. And of course, I would love to go to Colorado. I actually have a friend, Mallory, who's out in Colorado, and she's trained with all of those girls up there. And so, you know, maybe one day I do that. But it's cool. I do like to go out and see other gyms and other girls. It's just a style change that's good to change your own game.
To get some experience, right? Especially the ATT here, because I'm in Miami, they have so many different, you know, weight classes and girls that will be a good experience.
Right.